Hello and welcome. I didn't want to put all nice things on my screen and do some editing to this video. However, I can't edit at the moment because my laptop won't do it. And I'm trying to get a PC, but that's not happening quite quick enough. Anyway, today I will be talking about Rings of Power Series 1 because I never did a review on it, and also leading into Series 2 because I've not seen Series 2, and I kind of want to, so yeah, this will be my, kind of a lead up to Series 2. Right. So, from my recollection, in Series 1, uh, the the mystery of things was far bigger than the actual story. And going into it, I didn't read anything about the series. I didn't know who was in it, who was playing who, any of that. So I walked in very blind to it. Apart from, I'm a real fan of the Lord of the Rings anyway. So I sort of kind of knew what may have happened, um, and what didn't. What I might end up doing is put in this video and then rewatching it, series one that is, because I can't quite remember like beat for beat what occurs. So I might rewatch it. Um, but anyway, it could be quite nice because this could be more what I remember and what stuck out. I think it opened it really well, with the whole idea of um, Sauron is not being on the scene. We don't really know where he is, and Grenadier's kind of chasing a bit of a myth because of uh, her brother's passing, um, which, if I remember correctly, it's a bit different in the Ring of Power because in the Ring of Power, it's I think from my memory, it's pointed at as having Sauron, um, who made him unalive. So I'm hoping I remember that right. And then obviously Grenadier brings Sauron for her brother not being here anymore. So I get that. Um, so she's kind of hunting this boogeyman a bit. And everyone else is convinced he's actually made to not be here anymore. Um, so we've got that story going on. And then it turned out she's right, basically. But that's later on in the that's in fact that's right at the end of the series, if I remember. And I didn't quite guess who Sauron was. I won't say it here just because people haven't seen it. But I didn't see it who it is being who it is. Maybe I almost thought it would be a bigger threat than it was. And I kind of expected it to be a bit more hidden, but it was almost too obvious, maybe. So that's kind of why I missed it. I think that's my whatever you call it, my bad visual technique. So yeah, that happened. Um, we didn't really see too much of him, to be fair, in series one, as in like being itself. and his intentions were quite a bit more hidden than I thought they would have been. Um, so, yeah. And what else do we have? The drawers in the mounted. I quite enjoy that storyline and the fact that the elves, the dichotomy between the elves and the dwarves and men, I suppose, it's so interesting because the elves have this concept of time where it's okay to not see each other for like 20 years because actually time doesn't matter to an elf because they're not quite immortal, but they're like close enough immortal. I mean, they're not immortal because actually in the third age, they very much, like if an elf is needed, this is a paraphrasing, but if an elf is needed, the elf kind of fades away into the background. Um, so that's kind of their version of being an alive, I suppose. Um, so yeah, you had that going on. And the relationship between the dwarves and the elves were quite interesting to watch. Um, and what I imagined as well, I would say. Um, and now the wizard in series one was, I think some fans were quite annoyed because he's almost meant to be one of the wizards, but also he's almost, I don't know. There was a theory that he was Sauron because of like how he came about and all that. And I think it could have worked if he wasn't Sauron, but also I feel like Sauron always knows who he is in his multiple uh, personas, whereas the wizards come to Middle Earth and well, they come down and they completely, what's the word? It's not forget, but they are different people in Middle Earth than they are when they're not in Middle Earth, like Arda or something like that. I don't know. Not sure that's a word. I'm a fan, but words confuse me in Middle Earth a bit. Um, so yeah. Um, but yeah, people thought he was Sauron. That would have worked, but after the series one, I think he's a bit too nice to be Sauron. So I'm happy they didn't quite go over that. Um, but I do quite like the fact that the they were able to add in the difference between Sauron, because he's a oh my word, can't remember any words today. I say he's a he's a Maya. That's it, a Maya. So they are the same species. Um, species, angel, whatever words we want to use. It's Sauron's a lot more powerful. Um, and I've always had a theory on why Sauron's so powerful. My theory is that, and I don't know if it's canon or not, someone will have to let me know. But in my head, because he's been in Middle Earth longest, as a true figure. Okay, he's been made to be unalive quite a few times, but he's always been brought back to Middle Earth, always to come back. However, that's kind of occurred. He's come back to Middle Earth. So he's much older than all the other wizards by quite a way. So my theory is because he's a servant of Morgoth, he's at Morgoth when he came to Middle Earth at the very beginning. He put some of his essence into Middle Earth to make it a bit more evil. So my version in my head will always be Sauron is able to like tap into some of that power, like not much, but like kind of 10-20%. And then the longer he's here, the more he's able to like absorb some of that evilness, making him a bit stronger. That's my kind of theory on why Sauron's a bit more powerful. But also, I think some people believe it's more because Sauron served under Malkor, and Malkor's like the top tier of like the god level. So, but yeah, in the way I still prefer mine. Or could it just be the fact that Sauron, when he's made to be unalive and he comes back to Middle Earth, is it it's the fact that he's able to remember sort of they're not spells, but sort of remember the magic from the olden days. Whereas when Gandalf sort of is made to be unalive, he comes back, but he comes back and doesn't quite remember. I don't know. There's something like that, but also maybe not. Maybe they just are more powerful than others. Um, so that's my idea around that. I know to begin with, people thought Sauron was the bold, like female wizard from the trainer, which I feel that could have been Sauron, but somehow that's another order which we didn't see much of in series one, apart from like a few scenes, which is quite interesting. Sorry, which is quite interesting because we've not really seen magic really in Middle Earth apart from the wizards and Sauron before. But then the witch kid, it's obviously a witch wizard sorcerer. So there obviously wasn't magic wielded by like other races apart from the god tiers. So it'd be interesting to see how they work, like how that works. Like, is it spells? Is it like intent? Like is it a bit like Jedi where you've got to have some sort of magic source within you to be able to be a sorcerer? Like I don't really know that That's a really good talking point, I think. Um, yeah, I don't quite know what magic is in Middle Earth. Um, yeah, we've never been told. It's probably in the book somewhere, but I've not read the books. Um, knowing that anyway. I think my favourite character, apart from the obvious characters, like Grenadier from Series 1, had to be Ada, because he's one of the first, which I don't quite get, but he's a Urukai who's I must admit that may confuse me a bit because of the fact that in the Lord of the Rings films anyway, I was always under the impression that the Urukai in the first film was like the first of its kind. Maybe that's me and it's reading the film a bit wrong, but it would appear Ada is obviously much older. Well, not older, but yeah, kind of old. Um, so that would mean that yeah, there were others before. Which yeah, okay, yeah, that would make sense because um, Morgoth made the Orgai. Well, yeah, didn't make them, but I don't think I should go too much into that on YouTube because it's insanely dark. And actually, I was saying this the other day on my stream that oh yeah, my stream of like how dark it is and the fact that Tolkien never quite described where the Uruk-hai and the all the other races came from, simply because of how dark it is. Um, so yeah, I don't think I should go into it, but yeah, it's really dark. Um, but yeah, Ad was cool. Um, you get something a bit different than these raising like monsters of Urukai. You had to get an Urukai with a bit of a brain, and maybe it's just me, but well, I did begin to feel a bit sorry for him because he's like created versus completely evil means. However, just because you're made of evil doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil. And that's the other at the end. Well, from my recognition, as I say, this is a year ago I saw it. But he just wants peace now for his race outside of the tyranny of Morgoth and Sauron. Because at the end of series 1, we find out him and probably a few others made Sauron not alive anymore. Which, watching it for the first time, I wasn't sure if that was an eye or if I wasn't sure if Sauron and Ada were working together or whether they were completely separate entities. Like as in they were on the same side, but actually, I think they're opposed to each other, because actually, yeah, it's almost like you can only need people if you're one of those people. So that wouldn't make sense for Ada to be like good if you like on the side of his own people, um, and doesn't want to be part of an army led by someone evil. So that's a very interesting thing, and I think it's episode 5. It's almost at the end where we find out it's amazing backstory, to be honest. And one I almost hadn't thought about, but also hadn't quite thought about, because I think for me I've thought about it, but it's still nice to kind of live through that way of thinking, um, because it's very easy to see orcs, Torals, any species who aren't human as being evil. And actually, as I say, they may be evil, but also they may be evil because they're only bred to be evil. Um, so that was nice to hear. Um, so, but yeah, all that kind of happened at the end of the series, series 1 anyway. I mean, I know there was talk about it ending after series 1 because of how badly it did. Um, because it was a very slow season with like I feel it was very slow, but also some bits of it were way too quick. So like we saw the rise, I suppose, of Mount Doom, which was pretty awful, to be fair. Like probably the worst bit of its storytelling like ever. It's the fact that I think it ended up being water. Like they poured water over a volcano, and somehow that made it more volcanic, um, to make more law, basically. And I feel like that would have been fine, but it all happened in one episode. Like there was a bit of like need up to it with the whole, like, I think there was a sword, and it was also key, and its key wasn't like um I have a bin, and it's I'm thinking about it now. It was meant to be some sort of like hidden dark magic and like unseen magic, but also it appeared to be water on a volcano. Um, and like all that happened within, as I say, one episode. So let's call it like 2 or 3 weeks in real life. It's like don't quite buy that. But also, it would have been nice to see. I forget what that place is called, like Badlands or whatever. It would be nice to have seen more of that, so that when the volcano did erupt, um, it would have been nice if it was a bit more dramatic. Whereas it was just at the end of an episode that it was like, oh, yeah, okay. So yeah, didn't like that. Um, and I think that's about all I remember from it, to be honest. as I said, not seen it for like a year now, so might have to give it a watch. Um, but yeah, series two. I've not seen anything of it really. I've literally seen maybe two clips of it today. Um, and it feels like a bit more of a story this season. I've heard rumors it's going to be the final series, but I'm quite sure they're always going to say that. But also I've heard another um rumor it's got 5 seasons. So I'm not really sure. I think storytelling in general at the moment is in quite a weird place. I feel like some people just want stories of a particular topic. So we've got this, we've got Star Wars, we've got other things, and people are almost happy to just have content for content's sake. However, there's another group of people who don't want content just to have it. They want it to be good content or not at all. Um, and I'm kind of on the fence on that topic because I do like content, but also if you take it too far, um, maybe like Marvel, it gets a bit wishy-washy with like what's canon and what's maybe not too canon. Um, or I mean, I don't even because talk about Star Wars at the moment. That's a whole different video. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts on series one. Um, can they save it for me? I think series two looked really, really quite good. From my, as I say, story point of view, and I'm hoping the series is a bit more. I think dramatized is a good word. Um, and also, one big comment I want to make is the fact that I'm not really sure how Sauron will now come back to the same. Because from what I've seen, you've got him in season one, where at the end they've haven't they made the rings? I think they make the Elven rings at the end of series one. I think. So they're made. I think they're being worn or just about to be worn. They know who Sauron is. They recognise his face now if he ever came back. They've, as I say, now made the rings. He's now in Mordor. And I don't know if there's going to be a big time jump in Series 2. So the elves almost forget about Sauron being here. Or which is impossible, but okay. But I don't get how he's now able in Series 2 to come back. Okay, I've seen he's got a new face. So he comes back at some point and he has the same sort of agenda with the rings. Because I've seen him say, let's make more rings. So surely the elves will go, oh, someone's making winds, oh, we need to be wary. But yet somehow he's come back with the same plan and he's with the same sort of people. And I get he's a master at um changing his body. I get that. And I would presume he can change his um demeanor to make it a bit more to make it different somehow so people wouldn't notice him right away. I get that. But yeah, surely if someone goes, oh, there's a big mall and you sort of know I presume and they know he can change his appearance, but also maybe they don't know he's got that skill. But something I found out quite recently is the fact that actually that power's not unique to him. It's a like idol power. Idol? No, that's not right. Like it's a god power, and they could all do it because they all like ascended to Earth, basically Middle Earth, every so often, um, to be able to enjoy earthly desires, basically. So they ate, drank, whatever, once every. I don't know how often it was, but yeah, they all did it. Um, so yeah, so because I thought it was a unique power to Sauron, but actually it's not. So that was interesting. I thought. Um, so yeah, he, I think for me that's something that's going to either really put me off series two, or I'm going to be okay with it. Because as I say, surely they would like tighten their rants and go, right, I'm only talking to you if I know of your family. So going by that logic, he must have created a whole like family tree for this Anatar elf. Um, so that because in the books, Anatar's like the first time he meets the Rince, and the well, Hellbrand. Um, I don't think he was in the books. Uh, so yeah, as I say, something that's I don't know is I don't know if like Grenadier knows he can change his appearance. Um, but also I have feeling I know they did it in the books and the other material because the reason why he defeats her, her brother or people like that in the past is he's able to transform into like a werewolf um type creature. Um so I know they know in the books as I say, but I don't know in Ring of Power they discover that yet, or they just don't know. Or they've always seen him in armor before. Um, I don't quite know. Um, yeah. What else? I've got no notes here, by the way. I'm just off the cuff. What has happened? Um, no, I think that might be it. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry this isn't edited, but my computer will not let me edit anymore, so going to have to upgrade at some point. Which I'm very annoyed about, but whatever. Um, okay, I'll see you on my next video. Bye.